Flying toasters, bad dogs, starry nights, and glitch art. After Dark used screensavers to turn our desktops into art, and our personal computers were never the same. Today, I'm taking a closer look at my favorite After Dark screensavers. I'm Alex, and this is Retro Tech Dreams. After Dark was created by Jack Eastman and Patrick Beard at Berkeley Systems. They wanted to create something new for the Macintosh, a screensaver that was more than just a tool to prevent screen burn-in, but a canvas for digital art. When developing After Dark in the 1980s, the Macintosh didn't offer support for screensavers, so Berkeley Systems had no other choice than to painstakingly write the software in assembly. With each new version of After Dark, the team grew in size, along with a number of new modules. Jack Eastman knew he needed to ground the team to one unifying vision. Eastman said After Dark shouldn't just be stupid, it needed to be aggressively stupid, and we see that vision throughout each update. I switched over to my Windows 98 machine to show off After Dark and a few of my favorite screensavers. If you follow me on Twitter or Threads, this is the machine where I get a lot of my screenshots. I have a ton of my favorite apps and games installed. The Secret of Monkey Island, Encarta, Microsoft Publisher. I'll probably end up creating videos for all of these apps, so let me know in the comments what you want to see next. In After Dark, you can easily toggle between different versions, giving you access to every screensaver at once. Look at all the modules in here. After Dark commanded a high price point, but it feels like you're getting your money's worth when you see all the modules listed. I could spend hours going through each of these, but I'll focus on a few of my favorites. Let's get started with the one that made After Dark a household name, the Flying Toasters. The Flying Toaster screensaver didn't actually make its appearance in After Dark until version 2. And we got a new version of Flying Toasters in each version. Depending on when you started using your computer in the 90s, you'll favor one over the other. I started using computers in the early 90s, so the original is still my favorite. Flying Toasters became such an icon that the company released their own line of merch, including t-shirts and ties. In version 3, the Flying Toasters had more variety in their behaviors, and they have their own anthem. In version 4, the Flying Toasters were recreated in 3D and seemed to be aware of each other. After Dark wasn't the first time we saw wings on a toaster, as Jefferson Airplane released 30 Seconds Over Winterland in 1972, but it was the first time these toasters glided across our screens. Jefferson Airplane sued Berkeley Systems in 1994, claiming Berkeley Systems stole the Flying Toasters, but Berkeley won the case, as the form Jefferson Airplane used for copyright registration only covered the auto recording and not the album art. Next, let's take a look at DOS Shell. At first glance, I figured I was looking at random text that looked like DOS commands, but when I looked closer, I realized those were my files. Look, that's my actual C drive. Duke 3D, Quake, SimTower, Encarta. It looks like it's actually writing DOS commands, and it kinda makes me nervous wondering what it's gonna do next. Is it going to move files, delete files? Is this even real? I never kept the screensaver on long enough to find out. DOS Shell was the only screensaver in the pack where I didn't want to hang around long enough to figure out if it was a prank. Starry Night is one of the originals. Over time, individual pixels light up, revealing a city skyline at night. It's kinda like watching pixel art draw in real time. Watch closely enough and you can catch shooting stars. Starry Night is still one of my favorites. I wish I could use it today on modern machines. In Bad Dog, this little nuisance digs holes, tears up files, and messes with your folders. It even goes 3D for a bit, but when the owner scolds it for making a mess, I can't help but feel bad for the little pup.
Bad dog!
In Mowin Man, your desktop starts to sprout blades of grass and wildflowers. When the grass grows too high, Mowin Man pulls up to your screen and mows it down for you, and we're left with an oddly satisfying clean path that grows more grass. Rat Race brought the racetrack to our screens. The rats line up at the staggered starts, and off they go. I love that the rats turn around during the game, which keeps the suspense up. After Dark could have selected anything to race, horses, greyhounds, turtles, anything, but by selecting something as cringy as rats, it makes the screensaver more ridiculous and more authentically After Dark. The rat used in the screensaver was a pet named Jezebel and belonged to a Berkeley Systems employee. Marbles feels like Plinko for your desktop. The falling motion is really smooth. After Dark 4 added interactivity with some of the screensavers to the caps lock key. By hitting caps lock, we get access to a menu at the top to customize the screensaver. We can move things around and add new obstacles. Daredevil Dan races around your screen, jumping off ramps to soar over school buses and aquariums and through rings of fire. He lands the jumps a decent number of times, but not every time, so it leaves you guessing whether he'll succeed in his next jump. When he crashes, an ambulance pulls up to offer help. Satori renders simple fractals on your screen. Each pass adds more detail. The name Satori is the Japanese word for awakening and understanding. The screensaver doesn't feel like any others in the After Dark packs. It kinda feels out of place, but it's still one of my favorites. Rock, Paper, Scissors answers the ultimate question of who would win. Each of the fighters has a health meter, but this isn't the game of Rock, Paper, Scissors we grew up with. The fighters don't play fair, making it anyone's game. Scissors can beat rock, paper can beat scissors, making each playthrough unique. Slow burn is probably the trippiest screensaver I've ever seen. The movement is so fluid that I can't stop looking at it. This screensaver came with a MIDI track to add background music, or users could select any MIDI file or even play their own music from a CD. Slow burn reminded me of a really obscure program from 1994 called The Groove Thing, which was an early interactive music visualizer. Whenever I turn on this screensaver though, I feel like I can't turn it off. Down the drain pulls the bathtub plug on your desktop to watch it all wash away. To keep the screensaver interesting, splashes of color appear, and the screensaver starts to resemble glitch art as it adds psychedelic colors. I could keep going, there are literally dozens more I didn't cover. Hula girls, fish, points of view. After Dark had something for everyone. After Dark made our computers feel alive. Instead of being these MS-DOS machines with text, they showed us highly stimulating animations. The screensavers added quirks and personality to our computers, and we were able to customize a lot of the settings, making them feel like our own. Following the release of version 4, we never saw a 5th version, and that was for a few reasons. First, while After Dark may have launched the first commercially viable screensaver pack, by the time we received After Dark 4, a lot of users were online. Websites popped up like 2Cal's Screensaver of the Day, offering new screensavers for free. Even though After Dark included dozens of screensavers, there was no way it could compete with the literal thousands of free screensavers available on the web to download, even if these free versions didn't have the same level of polish. Screensavers started to become marketing tools for brands, movie studios, and media companies. The screensavers were given away for free. I imagine Berkeley Systems knew the financial viability of After Dark 5 would be different than After Dark 4 when they had to compete with so many free options. Second, Berkeley Systems had another hit on its hands with You Don't Know Jack. It was selling well, people loved it, and it seemed to better represent where Berkeley was heading in the future. So instead of placing a gamble on After Dark 5, you could see why Berkeley Systems continued investing in You Don't Know Jack. But what I love about After Dark is that they ended at the top of their game. No screensaver compilation in history disrupted the space like After Dark, and no other competitor came after them. After Dark perfected the screensaver, to the point where when we think of screensavers, we think of the flying toasters. Thank you so much for watching. What's your favorite screensaver? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this video, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.